If I were to ask you, what would be your dream golf job? Right? Anything. What would be your dream golf job? My friend who's about to join us may just have exactly what we're talking about. The dream golf job. Because what you're watching right now is not merely video. Obviously, this is from a drone. This is not merely video just to show you an incredibly beautiful golf course, which it really is. Those flowers are mind-blowing. I'm talking to you about the person that actually made this video and the photography that becomes more than something that's just for posterity. This becomes true artwork. Evan Schiller, evanschillerphotography.com. You can see that Andrew just put up there if you want to check out all of it yourself. We're going to be talking about all of it right now with Evan. And so, Evan, I've asked you this question before. First of all, thanks for joining us. It is a delight to see you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You went from being a golf professional to being a professional golf course photographer, and it's more than just photographer, it's video as well.
Right.
How? Why did you make that transition?
Wow. That's a great question. I grew up playing golf. My father played golf. He's the one who introduced me. I was playing tournament golf, and every trip I'd go on, I was going to these amazing places. And so at one point, I decided to start taking a camera with me. I think some people have probably heard this story before, but I played in the California Open at the Mission Hills course, the Dinosaur course at Mission Hills. And after the tournament was over, somebody said we should go over and play PGA West, which had just opened up the stadium course there. And so we walked down the ninth hole and looked down, and there was this beautiful scene in front of me with the beautiful peat dive with the railroad ties and the lake and the mountain, the beautiful reflection in the lake. And I said, boy, I need to start taking a camera. So just for kicks, I would take a camera and start taking photos of the courses I was playing. It was all for fun. And then, fast forward a few years, I started working as an assistant professional at Westchester Country Club. And my friend Tom Petrie said, hey, let's put some photos in the shop and start selling them. And to my surprise, they sold. And that's kind of how it got off, that's how it got, off the ground and running. And, some 25, years plus later, here we are. So I don't know if it was a decision, but it was a gradual transition from, playing golf, tournament golf, to working in, the golf business, to, taking photos of golf courses, which I just fell in love with.
And you kind of talked about this already, that it was kind of a gradual move, but was it word of mouth, Evan? I mean, did you advertise? How did people know that you were out there to do this? And when did you realize, was it when you were with Tom and you were selling the pictures, but when did you realize that you were really, really good at it?
It was this gradual, it was hard to say there was one moment where I actually knew, hey, because, I always had this image of, struggling photographer, right? And so my friends would make fun of me, like, yeah, what, photograph golf courses? And I think when I started getting asked to shoot, like courses, some courses around the area. I mean, I grew up in Westchester, New York, and when some courses started asking me to come over and take photos, and then they were selling them in the shop, I think that's when that's when it dawned on me that, wow, hey, I could do this. And then, you start getting paid for doing something you love, and all of a sudden your whole perspective, your whole point of view about the thing, wait, this is like, I could do this for more than just kicks. And I think that's when it started to, kick in as, hey, wow, I could do this. I think I could do this for a living. And I think the creme de la creme was when a bunch of years back, I got asked to go photograph the Masters. Um, yeah, I got a call from my friend Mike Johnson, who was the equipment editor for Golf Digest, and said, "Hey, you're going to get a call from Bob LaMarche, who publishes the Masters Journal, and they want you to go shoot the Masters for them." And I think, well, whoa, okay, now we're in the real world. So I think getting asked to go shoot the Masters just cemented it. Like, hey, I could do this for a living.
Evan Schiller has photographed over 600 championship golf courses. His work has been published in countless magazines, books, calendars, etc. The Masters Journal, the U.S. Open magazine, the Ryder Cup Journal, Links magazine, Golf Digest, Golf magazine, just to name a few. He is the official golf course photographer for the Fairways of Life show. We're proud to tell you as well. EvanSchillerPhotography.com is where you can go and see his incredible work. Obviously, what you're watching right now is that which he does not only with shutter and finger, but also with the drone work. Evan, when did you become, I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know how to phrase it. How did you become so damn good with a drone?
um, Practice. Yeah, no, it takes a while. I crashed a few. Uh, but I think anybody who's flown a drone has probably crashed one somewhere along the way. And in fact, you see this hole here? I crashed one on this hole right here. Well, it actually, uh, I was flying it, and it all of a sudden it just went down. Like the propeller came off, and it just right behind the green there, it crashed.
Where is
Um,
this, Evan? What are we looking at?
that's Punta Espada in the Dominican Republic.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just to the left of right where those palm trees are, right on the other side of those palm trees, it went down.
Was
Luckily,
it this drone that we're watching right now that met its unearthly
no, I
demise?
don't think. No, it was another. It was another one. Yeah, the prop came off and it went right like into that right by that. This is the second hole. It's the third tee. Yeah, it was. So that was one time where I lost one. I think it's just I would just get out even when I wasn't on a golf course, and I would fly the thing. And one of the pieces of advice I got was learn how to fly figure eights smoothly, really smoothly. So I'd go out and practice flying in figure eights and then filming it to see if I could actually make smooth turns with it. And there's adjustments on a drone which can help you, turn smoother, pan or tilt, like, with the camera. See, what I'm doing here right now is backing up the drone, but also panning up to show the whole scene there. So it just takes time and practice, and there's some adjustments on a drone you can make it so it's a lot easier.
But it's also about your vision, Evan. And that's the thing that
Yeah,
is so remarkable to me about you is that, aperture and balance, the symmetry of what you're looking for, this idea that you're going to back the drone up at the same time as you're bringing up the tilt of the drone to open up the magnificent setting. I have a chill running up my spine looking at this picture right now. It's all of these elements that, yes, I understand the technical side that you have to have skills at, but you have this artist eye. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not even sure if I'm
yeah,
explaining myself well. It is so hard
yeah.
to take a picture and make it look like what you're looking at when you want to show it to somebody later on. You have the ability to capture that in a way I've never seen.
So I heard there was a very this is going, and I'm in no way comparing myself to this guy. Um, Tiger Woods was on Oprah Winfrey's show way back when he was first, yeah, I mean, who early in his career, and she had him on. He had just come out with some book, and she asked him a very interesting question. She had read the book, and she goes, "Well, am I going to play golf like you after reading this book?" And she goes, "Obviously not. So what makes you great?" And he paused for a moment, and he said, "I think I see things that other people don't." And I think anybody who is really good at what they. I think that's a commonality amongst people who are really great at what they do, and they just they're able to see things that other people don't. Like when I get to a golf course, I drive around, I scout. It's one of the first things I do. I get there and I drive around. I drive all 18 holes, and I just look for spots where I want to shoot, and I got ideas. And I get, I'll say, well, this could be an interesting spot or an interesting area. And you've kind of, you're in a way projecting what it might look like, tomorrow morning when the sun comes up, from this angle or that angle. So, there's history that helps. It's an educated, in many ways, an educated guess that, hey, this scene could look really great at sunrise, or it could look, at sunset from over here. Um, so you get ideas ahead of time, so you're projecting, and then when you get there, it could be different, or it could be better, or not what you thought. So there's a lot of there's a lot of experience that goes into it, but there's trial and error. There's sometimes you get lucky. um, so there's a lot of years of just sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, yes, no, but you learn from all of them, which helps you going forward.
Evan, your photos when you shoot a sunrise, when you shoot a sunset, so you're out there as a golf course awakens, and you're out there as a golf course closes its tired eyes. Is it
Right.
for you in some way a spiritual experience?
Absolutely. Like this photo here was taken at PGA Frisco, um, or Fields Ranch. That's the 17th hole on the East Course. And this is I was actually driving to another hole to go shoot another hole. You could see it was a little bit cloudy, and as I
Mm-hmm.
was driving by the 17th hole, the sun popped out. And I happened to see this, and it wasn't planned. It just was driving by, and I saw it, and I hopped out of the cart quickly. I put my camera on a tripod and just shot a few frames, and then the sun went behind those clouds again. So I just happened to be driving by, um, and I saw this, and I went, "Wow!" But
Incredible.
yeah, it is just being out. This is another one. Just in a way, I happen to be in the right place at the right time, waiting, and then the sun came out at Bandon Dunes for you know probably a minute maybe on this scene. But as far as the spiritual, yes, there's something I really special, like you say, spiritual about the early morning and the late afternoons, and sometimes I prefer the early morning because the sun's coming up, and lots of times I'm out there before the sun comes up, and you anticipation of what it might look like. But it's not just that; it's just it's the sounds, the smell. Like you were along the ocean, the sounds and smells. I was just up at Bandon Dunes, and I would go out and before the sun would come up, stand on the cliff and look at the ocean and the beach and just take it in and appreciate the whole scene. So yeah, it is a spiritual. It's very uplifting experience. Regardless of whether you're taking photos or not, just being out there, and taking in the whole experience of just being out there. What and it's a in a way it's an assault on the senses in a good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
In many
Yeah.
ways, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the wind, the breeze, um, like this place is was that's in Anguilla, the only golf course on the island, um, Aurora National Golf Club, and it's just beautiful.
Evan, as a former professional, and one who played competitively at very high levels, you would hit a shot. Let's say, you know, we've been showing multiple times. We've shown the absolutely incredibly beautiful video of the par 3 seventh at Pebble
Right.
as an example. If you stood on that tee, say the wind was into you a little bit, so you needed a little more meat to get to the green. Not crazy like, you know, Tony Finau when he had to hit a driver there, you know, this past season on the tour. But I'm say it's an 8-iron or a 7-iron, which for you is probably going to be, we're talking anywhere from 170 to 190 ish, right? Playing effectively because of the wind coming in at you, and you hit it perfectly. You hit it hole high. You leave it about 3 feet away. You know that feeling. As Ben Hogan said, it comes through the ball to the club, through your hands and your arms, and right it straight into your soul. To execute that shot versus doing what we're looking at right now with the birds flying under it. I mean, this looks like when they say that, oh, so and so had a near death experience and they relived, you know, one of the highlights of their life. We're watching it right now. Now at this point, Evan Schiller, looking back on your own life, what brings you greater joy? That perfectly struck iron, hole high for birdie into this par 3, or doing what we're looking at right now?
Wow. Great question. Um, I'll do my best because they're hard to compare. You know, I've had experience like where taking some of this drone footage, like in particular, there's one I took of the fifth hole at Moonlight Basin, which you were showing before, and which I flew down the fairway. Yeah, this one. This is it. So one of the things I want to do is fly down the fairway, and the dog legs to the right there, as I got up to the green, I wanted to kind of go out to the right, right? I don't know if you show the whole thing, but it goes out to the right, and then I circled around back behind the green, like here, like this. Then you go out, and then I circled around back behind the green because I wanted to show this scene. And I had talked with the head pro about doing something like this. And I did this on the first take. This is the one and only take I had to do. I got it on the first one. That's about as close to hitting that perfect 7-iron on the seventh hole where you just pure it and you catch it right in the middle of the face. This particular video right here, I would say was comparable to that because I got done with it and my wife was with me, and I said to her, "I just nailed that."
It's fabulous, Evan. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
just go and
fabulous.
just fly the whole thing around because lots of times you don't always get it right. You got to go back and try it again, or it's like, I like to do a little higher, a little lower. So yeah, sometimes there's a shot or a video that you capture that's comparable to hitting a like that pure 7-iron, but that pure 7-iron that you catch right in the middle of the face, really flush, um, that's pretty hard to beat.
You know what's amazing about it with what you do, Evan, in that it is about artistry. Obviously, it's about
Yeah.
capturing these God's gardens, right? But it's about more. When people go on to evanschiller.com, evanschillerphotography.com, and they're buying your prints, especially where you put them on metal and all the rest. I have 2 of them myself. It's more than just the beauty and the art, which it could suffice. It could stand alone. But it's about
Right.
the emotions that you feel, because most people are buying these because they either aspire to be there one day and it's a dream, it's a bucket list, or they've actually been there and the emotions come flooding back in that same kind of spiritual way. It is truly incredible. You heard me ask the question as you were coming in. What would be your dream golf job? Are you living it, Evan Schiller? Is this your dream golf job, what you are doing every day?
Yes. Yeah. It growing up, when I was growing up playing golf, I think my dream golf job was to play golf professionally. And that was for a while. and then it shifted. I don't know how. I didn't know why. I never planned it. It just shifted to um, to this. So it was one thing starting off, and then it shifted to another. I guess that's possible because it did happen. I feel very privileged and lucky to be able to do this. It started off as a hobby, started off as fun, and turned into, I wouldn't even call it a job. It just it's the work I do.
As they
Um,
say, do
yeah,
what you love to do, and you'll never work a day in your life. And
yeah,
that which you create, your art, is there for all of us to enjoy. EvanSchillerPhotography.com. It's incredible, my friend. Thank you for checking in with us. Thank you for sharing your story, because whatever the shot is that people have in their life, in their heart, and their ambition, I know that people have dreams, and
right.
to be able to talk to you like this, I'm sure is motivating a lot of people to pursue theirs. So thank you for what you've done, as ever. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me on again. Always a treat. Love it.
It is.
Thank you,
It's a
Matt. Yeah.
pleasure to catch up with you, Evan. And this is the reason why this kind of beautiful photography right here, this is obviously being shot as video from a drone. The photos themselves are absolutely stunning. And so that's the reason why we bring Evan on, because we know that as you watch these, most of you are looking at these photos and going, oh, yeah, I remember that one. I've seen that one before. Well, that's because of the man that we were just talking to.